You get to get a little shout out to our D1 club hockey. And speaking of our D1 club hockey team, they are the subject of today's GioMoShow interview, as we got both Stefano and Parker in the studio to talk about their club sport, to talk about their journey through hockey, and to give me a little bit of a look into the world of hockey. It's not one I've explored too much, and it's something that I'm very interested in getting into. So we get to learn about Stefano and Parker later on the GioMoShow. So be sure to stick around to the very end. It's a little bit of a shorter one, but easier to watch. So finally, let's get into some of the club sports. And forgive me if this seems a little bit scatterbrained, if this seems a little bit like a shotgun of information. There's a lot of teams and it's a lot of quick information. But like I mentioned, we got 30 teams through university recreation and well-being. We got our club football. I'm sure a lot of you guys, if you know about club sports, you know about the club football team. Like I mentioned, the club D1 hockey, there's club D3 hockey, there's soccer, there's lacrosse, there's figure skating and fencing, there's everything. So if you want to get a little bit of a shout out on the GioMoShow, DM me. Let me know. I'll get you on the show. And pretty soon we're going to be recording one with women's club lacrosse. That one will be coming out soon. That interview should be recorded about tomorrow. So keep on the lookout for that. But to go through it, club football, after a tough game against their rival Ohio State Sunday the 17th, which you heard me and Jacob Verostic on WXOU call that game. So after a tough loss to the Buckeyes, the club football team travels to MSU this Saturday to take on the Spartans and to wash that bad taste out of their mouth. And they should be getting star running back Jacob Mills back as well, who was absent in the Ohio State game. So be sure to look out for him to make a difference for the Golden Grizzlies. Club D1 hockey, as I mentioned before, they take on the RIT Tigers not only once on Saturday, but they also take them on Friday. So to kind of simplify that, Golden Grizzlies, RIT Tigers, Friday at 8:55 and Saturday at 7 p.m., both at Suburban Ice Rochester. Games are free for students to go and watch, and children under 5 are free as well. So be sure to get down to Suburban Ice Rochester, support your D1 club hockey, and that's the hockey that we got here at Oakland University. So if you need some action on the ice, then that is the place to go. Men's club lacrosse. They've begun their practices. I've seen them practicing around here and there, around the upper fields, around the track and field complex. A lot of club teams, they do their practices around there. But I've seen them getting into the action. They also have a game scheduled against Saginaw Valley for October 21st at 2 p.m. So mark your calendars for that, and some more information to come up about the men's club lacrosse team. We may or may not see an interview of them on the GioMoShow. But speaking of which, the women's club lacrosse team, I've seen them start their practices. They do them late at night out at the upper fields. According to their Instagram, they got a fall 5v5 tournament taking place on October 7th. So that is definitely something to be excited about. And before I continue any further with your club sports sprint, club sports blitz on the GioMoShow, if you are at all interested in joining these clubs and being an athlete. If you played in high school and you didn't think Oakland was the place to play, you didn't get any D1 offers, or you didn't get any college offers like that, club sports are the place for you. That is the niche that they fill in the sports world. It may not be one that's glorious. It may not be one that you're going to get the TV contracts and all that kind of stuff. That's not what club sports are. Club sports are for those who absolutely love the sport and are willing to give everything to it and to do everything they can to continue playing. That's what I love about club sports. And I was supposed to say this in the beginning, or now we're saying it in the middle. But, I love these club sports because, I love what they do. And I love the work that they put into it, and everything they do is out of pure passion, because it's sometimes it's out of their pocket. Sometimes the transportation is run by them. A lot of them are just strictly student run. Not all of them have coaches. Some of them are self-taught, so it's everything through passion is what these club sports are. And to reel it back in, if you're interested in joining any of these clubs, if you got that fiery passion for your sport, then go to myrecwell.oakland.edu. That's the university recreations website. Go under the club sports tab and they got a list of all of them. And I mean it, they got a lot of them. I mean it when I say figure skating, and they got fencing and stuff like lacrosse and running, and just off the top of my head, they got everything here at University Recreation and Wellbeing. So to wrap things up, club softball, they have their schedule out on their Instagram page, and their let's call it their nearest event is going to be an invitational tournament held in Indiana, forgive me, from October 7th to October 8th. So that weekend, the Golden Grizzlies are going to be on the road for a softball tournament to kick off the season. Then later, they play Michigan in Ann Arbor. They play Michigan State at East Lansing. They play Adrian College at home in March, and then Bowling Green at home in April. So be sure to follow them and to follow all the club sports on their Instagram pages. If you just search Oakland Club Softball, Oakland Club Lacrosse, Oakland Club, you'll find them on Instagram. They got their page. That's where you're going to get most of their information from. If you want more details on your club sports, then definitely give them a follow. So, we have now completed the Club Sports Blitz here on the GioMo Show. We're going to take a quick break here. But before that, I got a message for you guys. We got a new show on WXOU, the Eli and Andrew Show, Thursdays at 10 p.m. on WXOU. The feature late night show on WXOU, hosted by Eli Sepulveda and Andrew Deacon. And after 10 p.m., the FCC guidelines, they tend to die down a little bit. The language becomes a little bit more mature, and you can have just a little bit more fun at night. So listen to Eli and Andrew as they ask their guests the wildest questions you've ever seen. And not only the wildest questions, but ones they wrote for each other to ask the guest. So Eli and Andrew write questions for each other. They haven't seen it before the show starts, and they have a wonderful guest in to be the recipient of such questions. So be sure to listen to them tonight at 10 p.m. Eli and Andrew on the Eli Andrew Show. So we're going to be right back on the GioMo Show 88.3 FM after this short message from WXOU.